You ready? You ready? We're going to do a little teaching. Hello, this is a short little video that I've created for Jenny Smith on the Natural Horsemanship UK group, but I'm probably going to leave it on my YouTube channel for a while. This is what I would describe as a diagnostics groundwork video. Diagnostics being like what they do at the garage when they put the little machine in your car and it tells them what's wrong with it. This is what I do with most horses when I go to visit them and they have a problem, almost regardless of what the owner says the horse's problems are. There's several things we do just generally to sort of get an idea for what's happening, because certain things your horse does tells you certain things about your horse, and that leads us then to make plans. My assistant is the wonderful Choclate Pudding. He is a thoroughbred cross, and the request was for a horse that was a thoroughbred cross, so I figured he was a good one to show it on, though he's not quite the same type, I know. But he's a horse that's also had rearing issues in the past, for very different reasons, I think, to the horse that was listed in the advert on Natural Horsemanship UK. But still, similar sorts of problems, diagnosed using these techniques and then worked on using lots of different techniques and understanding facial expressions and blah 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 blah. He's now wonderful, in case you hadn't already got that from just him standing here. You have to excuse the model over him because I have just grabbed him out of the field. But enough talking, let's get on with it. This video, like I say, it's diagnostic. Do these things, and then I'm able to give you more to sort of say, if your horse is struggling with this, we should work on this exercise next. That's kind of the idea here. A lot of it's going to be very, very simple, very, very easy to do. But anyway, whip this off you, kiddo, when you're getting cold. Since you are clipped, although you're due again, aren't you? Right, okie dokes. So the very first thing we want to know before we do anything else is your horse afraid to be touched anywhere, or afraid of you moving, or of your stick? This not necessarily means you have to do anything, but just really simply, can you stroke your horse all over? What's his reaction to that? Oh, got a friend moving behind us. Is he bothered by the stick? Does it upset him in any way? And just show it to him, right? Pudding, as you can see, does have a tendency to get worried about sticks, and it's something I work on with him a lot. I got him at 11, 10. How old were you when you started? A year ago. And he would get that sort of wide-eyed, frozen stare every time I did anything, because the threat of the stick bothered him. So it's something we've worked on. It tells you a lot just to show the stick to the horse. More advanced things might be to do things like this, swing the stick around, and if your horse is really, really good with swinging it all over, making whooshing sounds, you might also ask your horse to walk and then keep doing it. It's something that Pudding struggled with a lot in the beginning, because when walking, he couldn't ignore the stick as well. Because as you saw, he'd freeze up. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. My point being, you're going to need a stick to do a lot of the work I'm asking you to do, and if your horse is afraid of it in any way, it's going to be a problem. So that's number one. Very handsome. So the next three things I want you to be able to do are all very, very simple, but you'll find that your horse finds one of them more difficult. And the reason I know this is because all horses find it difficult. Yes, you all do, don't you? So the three things are back up, front quarter yield, and hind quarter yield. Back up, lift your stick, lift your energy up, one swing, two swings, and on the third swing, I'd tap him on his chest. Right? He took a nice step back, so I'd go back to lift, one swing, relax, lift, relax, lift, relax, lift, relax. You can tell Pudding's done this a couple times, because he's absolutely fucking fabulous. Aren't you? Yes. Four quarter yield, very similar idea. You're going to lift your stick on an angle from the horse's shoulder and do one circle, two circles, and on the third circle tap their shoulder, tap their nose. And what you're looking for when you push your horse like this is that the front feet step over. And you might notice this is the one that Pudding struggles with more than any of the others, right? Better. Not so good. Not so good. Not so good. We're still waiting for a good step. We had one good step. Okay. It's a little bit too forward. Over. He's trying, so I'm not going to tell him off. But I'm now waiting for his front feet to cross. And he's having a moment with it, apparently. It's a little bit forward. Just the front feet, not the back feet. Good. Better. Good. 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 Now, Pudding's not doing it perfectly. This is something he struggles with, and I don't put enough effort into it. I need to work on it more. I will admit to that. But you notice he often likes to cross his back feet instead, and he's also got a willingness to try. So I'm not too hard on him about it. Because he is willing to move away, even if he does it not quite with the correct steps. One thing with Pudding in particular is that he has some physical issues, which I won't go into, which make this more difficult for him. And I often find when he's had a longer warm-up, he's more willing to make this step. Though that step was good, of course it was when the camera wasn't facing. There's a good step. And over with the other foot. You'll have a sweet... You'll find this about my horses, they're quite spoiled. So, that's another little something to do. Some pitfalls with this. You'll find your horse is not willing to move away. Don't be afraid to tap their nose, right, if they're not listening. Lift the whip, 1 swing, 2 swings, tap the nose. No emotion, don't change anything, right? But when you tap the nose, be sure that it is in front of this part of the halter. You're not allowed to tap anywhere up here, for obvious reasons. You might also find tapping under the chin helps. This might be something where you need to send me a video and I can say what might help, because sometimes it's more to do with the feet and you need to tap here or even down here to help encourage the horse to move over. Or it might be that you're rushing through what we call phase 1, which is where you lift the stick and hold it on an angle. You'll also find that if your angle isn't right, your horse will take different steps. Awesome. I'm flying through this, and it is far more complicated. But, last thing I'd like you to be able to do, quite simply, push the back end away, 1 swing, 2 swings, tap his bum, and you want him to cross his back feet over. Pudding does this really, really easily. 1 step, and again, good. Again, he's very willing. But from all of that, I don't want him to then become sensitive to the stick to the point where it becomes a problem. I know you're very good. From there, it's just about asking him to move forward. There's lots of ways to do this, but I want you to really keep this idea in your mind of a light step that encourages your horse to move, followed by something that gets him to listen. I find you are a lot safer if you lead your horse at its shoulder, because you can see its eye, and you can keep your elbow up to prevent the horse from coming on top of you. I'm making this look easy because I have an easy horse. I know how difficult this can be when your horse is trying to bite you and trying to rear at you. So don't worry too much if this is tricky for you. We'll look into that when you send me my video back. But I want you to think of this elbow being up as a way to prevent your horse from running you over. When your horse comes too close towards you, you can use your elbow. Attaboy. You can use your elbow to prevent him from stepping on your feet by bracing it against his side, keeping his head slightly bent towards you. Yes, very good. But also if he's coming towards you with his teeth, trying to bite you because he's vicious, like this one, who thinks he's going to get treats, you can use this motion to prevent him from coming towards you. It seems ridiculous that it would work, but if you create a wall with the same side if you have done any martial arts that you'd use to block someone, if you create a wall here, they don't tend to want to run into it. The trick being, and you might have noticed I did it automatically, is to give a lot of rope when you do this so that they can move away from you. So that's pretty much it. But when you lead, really try not to pull on your halter. You guide with your hand and you tap behind to ask them to catch up. Again, these are simple, small things, but they add up into more complicated things, and we'll look into what exercises I can have you do later that might be helpful. I think it also might be getting dark enough that my camera doesn't record me as well, because that is an issue I have in this arena with my black horse on a black background. But I hope this helps. Now we're just having fun and showing off. But this is all the same stuff I've just been showing you, just at a slight more of a distance. Pivot the front feet around. Good. Up into trot. Good. Up into trot came by guiding slightly forward with my hand. When my hand is in the neutral position, I don't want anything. Lean back, lift the hand, bring the stick in front. 1 swing, 2 swings, tap him on the chest. You're so clever. You are spoilt, though. You don't deserve a treat for just trotting 2 laps, really, but thank you for helping me to explain this. So, the 5 things I want you to do. Ask your horse to sniff the stick, rub him all over with it. I want to see how he reacts, so I want that on video. Ask your horse to take a step back using the same whip by lifting it, swinging it, and tapping him on the chest. Again, if he doesn't back up for you, don't worry. I want to see what he does. His reaction will help me understand what I want you to do. Move the front end over, which I think will be the most powerful thing for you with a horse that nips and rears, as this is specifically what you're talking about. The way he reacts to being asked to move his front feet over will tell us a lot. So don't worry if you can't do it, right? With any of these things, if you're struggling, that's a good thing. That tells me something, right? If you do it all easily, I've got to come up with more complicated things. From there, hindquarter yield and lead forward without the rope, if you can. See if you can ask him to move forward by maybe a little tug on the rope, but mostly through your body language. Come forward, lift the stick, tap him behind, right? Hope you've enjoyed this little video. Like I said, it's very, very short, very, very simple, but this is more diagnostic than actually teaching you exercises to do. Once I know, look at you, you're so vicious with your biting. Once I know how your horse reacts to these exercises, there are loads and loads and loads of different things I'd have you do to look at you, vicious beast. I'd have you do to help you develop and improve your groundwork so that you feel safe on the ground as well. You're just distracting me now with your cute nose. Stop it. I think I have to go because I'm just going to get distracted now. But send me a video back. Let me see what your horse is doing, and I can send you another one showing the exercises again with Pudding, what I'd have you do next based on what you show me. Thanks, and I'll see you soon. Say bye, Pud. What have you seen? I'm going to say bye to the camera. I'm going to look that way before I click this off. What's that face?